Hello everyone, today we are on chapter 17 of Proverbs. We are again going to read from the Message translation, although I have found the Good News translation to be pretty great as well, so I'll go back and read that, a couple verses out of that, just to have some comparison. A meal of bread and water and contented peace is better than a banquet spiced with quarrels. A wise servant takes charge of an unruly child and is honored as one of the family. As silver in a crucible and gold in a pan, so our lives are assayed by God. Evil people relish malicious conversation, and the ears of liars itch for dirty gossip. Whoever mocks poor people insults their Creator. Gloating over misfortune is a punishable crime. Old people are distinguished by grandchildren. Children take pride in their parents. We don't expect eloquence from fools, nor do we expect lies from our leaders. Receiving a gift is like getting a rare gemstone. Any way you look at it, you see beauty refracted. Overlook an offense and bond of friendship. Fasten onto a slight, and goodbye, friend. A quiet rebuke to a person of good sense does more than a whack on the head of a fool. Criminals out looking for nothing but trouble won't have long to wait. They'll meet it coming and going. Better to meet a grizzly robbed of her cubs than a fool hell-bent on folly. Those who return evil for good will meet their own evil returning. The start of a quarrel is like a leak in a dam, so stop it before it bursts. Whitewashing bad people and throwing mud on good people are equally abhorrent to God. What's this? Fools out shopping for wisdom? They wouldn't recognize it if they saw it. Friends love through all kinds of weather, and families stick together in all kinds of trouble. It's stupid to try to get something for nothing, or run up huge bills you can never pay. A person who courts sin marries trouble. Build a wall, invite a burglar. A bad motive can't achieve a good end. Double talk brings you double trouble. Having a fool for a child is misery. It's no fun being the parent of adult. A cheerful disposition is good for your health. Gloom and doom leave you bone tired. The wicked take bribes under the table. They show nothing but contempt for justice. The perceptive find wisdom in their own front yard. Fools look for it everywhere but right here. A surly, stupid child is sheer pain to a father, a bitter pill for a mother to swallow. It's wrong to penalize good behavior or make good citizens pay for the crimes of others. The one who knows much says little. An understanding person remains calm. Even dunces who keep quiet are thought to be wise. As long as they keep their mouth shut, they're smart. So as usual, we're going to go through just a couple of verses, and I'm going to read a couple of them in the Good News translation, just to give us a little comparison of things, just to help us understand a little bit more. So verse 3 says, "Gold and silver are tested by fire, and a person's heart is tested by the Lord." Your heart, when you become a Christian, it has a lot of junk in it. It needs to be tested, it needs to be refined, it needs to be purified. And that journey can sometimes be glorious and really fun to see that junk fall off. And sometimes it can be a lot of hard work. It can feel like you're walking through fire. There are a couple of things that I like. Parenting was a hard one. I had to break off a lot of my misconceptions, a lot of the hurts of my childhood, what I learned growing up, kind of all that junk. And it took a lot of years to do that. When I came back to my faith, I thought it was just about gritting my teeth and being patient by not by like this intense gritting, but really what it was about was breaking off my misconceptions, my poor thinking, my reactionary, my tendency to react to things, and then to be guided into this world of observing my kids more, taking joy in that, understanding what a child's job is to do, which is to play and explore the world. And with that came more patience, and came a better way to parent. So sometimes it really felt difficult. It felt like I wasn't getting it, like I would never get there, like nothing was changing, like nothing was happening. But walking through fire is not always easy, you know. So then I want to scroll down to verse 17 and read it in the Good News translation. Friends always show their love. What are relatives for if not to share trouble? But then don't forget what verse 18 says. Only someone with no sense would promise to be responsible for someone else's debts. And so in the Bible, you have to be careful about taking one verse and not reading what's around it. So Solomon's been talking about fools and their lack of knowledge and education. Then he talks about if you're going to be a good friend, a good family member, if you're going to build this good family, part of that is sharing in each other's troubles. And that means, you know, gathering together, strengthening somebody up, encouraging them, being there for them. You know, we all know what a good family member, a good friend would do, really. But don't become responsible for their debt. And so I think that this doesn't mean not to lend money. It doesn't mean that you can't help them. You know, if they have a debt or whatever, it doesn't mean that you can't help them, but you don't become responsible. You don't take on the responsibility. When you take away somebody's responsibility, you're taking away their strength. You're making them weaker. If you take away somebody all responsibility from them, they are an extremely weak person, both in their personality, in their character, in their morals, because they have no responsibility. They think that they can pretty much do anything and somebody's going to swoop in and clean up the mess. That is a very weak person. Don't take away the responsibility. Even if somebody in your family who you love or your friends gets themselves into a problem, help them work it out. Be there for them, but don't take away that responsibility, because it will make them weaker instead of stronger. If you are there to help them, they can actually become stronger as they get through it. But if you take off that burden of responsibility, you're going to make them weaker. So then verse 20 says, anyone who thinks and speaks evil can expect to find nothing good, only disaster. So if you spend time thinking and talking about the disasters that will come to you, if you spend your time worrying about things, typically they end up coming. And so I thought of the knock on wood whenever you say something, just before you say something bad. That came about because of this truth principle. If you're constantly talking of disaster, of bad, the chances of it happening to you are pretty high. It doesn't mean that it's immediate. It's, the knock on wood comes from sort of this magic, thing, because people were trying to understand this principle. And so it doesn't mean that knock on wood is a good thing. It doesn't mean anything like that. But humans in history have come up with these things trying to understand the truth principles that God has spoken over the earth. And so you're spending all this time thinking about disaster, speaking about disaster. Chances are disaster is going to come your way. If you speak goodness, if you refuse to worry constantly about things that haven't yet happened, that could happen, but if you focus more on what is good and noble and true and right, then good, noble, true, and right things will come to you. So I just want to repeat the last verses because I thought they were super powerful, and I'm going to repeat them in the Good News translation. Verse 26, it is not right to make an innocent person pay a fine. Justice is perverted when good people are punished. So good people meaning innocent people. Those who are sure of themselves do not talk all the time. People who stay calm have real insight. So just understand that people who really know what they know and are confident in it don't feel the need to talk all the time. Somebody who is talking all the time typically is not really confident, and you can see that a lot in their hysteria. And talking in this day and age can even mean typing, for sure. After all, even fools may be thought wise and intelligent if they stay quiet and keep their mouths shut. So, this is something that I had to learn. If you don't know something, don't talk about it. Definitely ask questions, but don't talk as though you know things. And I bet you that you could come up with a list already of people you know who talk about things that they don't know, and it really does make them look foolish. It makes you feel like there are certain topics you can't talk about with that person because they are constantly saying things that aren't true or that they really just don't understand. So just be reminded that if you don't know about something, it is always wise to keep your mouth shut and figure it out first. You will look wiser than somebody who just keeps talking about nonsense. So even if you don't know, you can look wise. So that it concludes chapter 17. Please hit the like button if you like this video, share with your friends. Please subscribe if you want to be notified of other videos coming up. We will continue our Proverbs study tomorrow with chapter 18. See you later.